Hey guys, wow. Okay, where did 2024 go? Can someone please tell me? Hey, welcome back to my channel, you guys. So, I don't know about you, but I feel like 2024 was just a year of just personal growth for me, and getting past just what other people think about me and just focusing on myself. Um, y'all, like, I know, like, I didn't post a lot of content last year, but it was for a reason. It was for a really good reason, and I'm so glad that I did it because now in hindsight I see that I have become such a better person, and I'm able to give you guys quality content and really share things that I believe that will help you to grow. As a lot of the things that I'm sharing, I went through it on my personal journey, and I'm still growing. I'm not finished. I don't think anyone is done growing. We all have room for opportunity. We have room for growth. But I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for us as we go on this journey together and become better, become a better version of ourselves. So this video is going to just be about really being honest with you guys about setting New Year's resolutions. Like, we have all set New Year's resolutions in some point of our lives. And for many of us, we were consistent with it, and for some of us we fell off. And in this video I really want you to have like a self-reflection of, okay, like, this is what I need to do to get to where I want to be, because the truth is nobody is going to hold your hand. No matter how many accountability partners you have, no matter how many people around you that are cheering you on, you have to be your biggest advocate. You have to be the one to get up every day and say, you know what? Even though I don't feel like going to the gym, I'm going to the gym because I know that I have to lose these 20 pounds. I have to lose these 30 pounds. At this point, I don't like the way I look when I wake up in the morning. Every time I go to the doctor, I'm always having health issues. This is important. So you have to get to that point. You have to get to that point of realizing, hey, I need to do what I need to do to get to where I want to be, because nobody is going to give it to you. You have to do it yourself. And I know you're like, okay, how do I do that, Naya? How do I empower myself? How do I come to this place where I have the power and the self-will to get up and do the things that I want to do? That's a great question. And it really boils down to your desire. I know many of us, the world that we live in is driven by social media, and a lot of us want things based off of what is presented in front of us. So, example, many of us ladies, we want to have the perfect body because we see mostly every woman on social media with these big butts and these small waists, and we're like, man, that's what I want. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't want that. You should, whatever version of yourself that you see in your mind outside of social media, outside of whatever, that's what you should go for. But if you're desiring that just because it's popular, just because you think that these women are getting a lot of attention from men, I would say really think twice, because a lot of what you see is not reality. And you have to be careful of how you compare yourself to other people, because most of us, we have our own pathways. We have our own guide. We have our own life that God has created us all for. If we all were supposed to be the same, God would just have made us all exactly the same. We will all look alike. We will all be the same shape, the same bone structure, the same color, all of that. But God created us all unique because we all have a different purpose. And we have to get to a place where we understand, like, okay, I'm okay with going down this path. Even though it may not be popular right now, in my heart, I know that that's where God is leading me. And you may say, I don't believe in God. Okay, whoever you believe in, whoever you pray to, something is inwardly guiding you and telling you, okay, this is not the plan that I have for you. You need to go on this path. And that's what you need to be guided by. You don't need to be guided by people. You don't need to be guided by comparing yourself to other people, because that is what is causing a lot of people to be stuck. And when I say stuck, I mean, it may seem like things are panning out for them, but in the long run, they're never going to elevate. They're never going to be the highest version of themselves, because they are a carbon copy of someone else. And when you are copying someone else, there's only a certain there's limitations to who you are. So why would you want to place limitations on yourself when you can be who you are authentically supposed to be and thrive? And that's the thing for me, that I had to get comfortable with. I had to realize, okay, Naya, you're not like most people, like, and I struggle with, I even still struggle with it, because I'm constantly like, man, my mindset is just so different from the average person. And I used to think like something was wrong with me for the longest. And then I would just pray and really seek God. And God would always reassure me that I'm on the right path, that even though who I am, it may not be popular in the moment, God has a special plan for my life. And once I realized that, that's when I started to embrace who I am and not feel like I have to change when I'm around this group of people, or I have to change to fit in like over on this side. Like it becomes so like exhausting. Like that's the thing. Like, why do you want to be exhausted? Because you're trying to fit in and you're trying to be someone that you're not. And the world that we live in is totally against what I'm saying. They want you to be this, do this, fit in, become the culture, the environment. And I'm not saying that you can't respect cultures, because respecting cultures is so important, because it shows a level of respect. But when it comes to who you are, be authentically you. So you have to start there. Now, I know I'm going on a tangent. When it comes to sticking to your goals, you have to get very aggressive with your goals. If you want to achieve things, you can't just say, I'm going to do this, and then you do it for 3-4 weeks and you fall off. You have to get so aggressive with it that you have to remind yourself, if I don't do this, this is going to be the consequence. And realizing that consequences, let me just say this, like, many of us understand what consequences are, but time to me is the biggest consequence. Losing time is the biggest consequence for me. When I look back at some of my years when I'm like, I'm going to do this, and I didn't do it, and I realized that I lost so much time, it kind of like defeats me. I'm like, man, I spent so many days wasting time. I spent so many hours doing nonsense when I could have been achieving all the things that I said I was going to do. Because you know what? Time you don't get back. You can get money back. You can get things back. You can get friends back. You can get family members back. You can get a relationship back, a better relationship back. All of these things. But time you cannot. And 2025, we have to come to a place where we realize that our time is the most valuable commodity that we have. We don't have time to be spending hours on TikTok. We don't have time to be spending hours binge watching on Netflix. We don't. Many of us, our time is cut short. Many of us are not going to see 60. Many of us are not going to see 70. Many of us are not even going to see 50. And once you realize that, that's when you will start to maximize your time, maximizing everything that you are supposed to do. For me, I told myself every gift that I have inside of me, I'm going to use it because I have so many things to give. And you have to come to an understanding too that it's not just about you. Last year, when I was working on building myself, working on my weight, working on my businesses, working on building so many things for myself, working on just things. In the back of my mind, I realized that it's, even though I'm working on myself, it's so much bigger. I'm preparing myself for you guys. Everything that I did behind the scenes is for you. Everything that I learned is for you so that you can grow with me. As I'm trying to become a better version of myself and a better mom and a future wife, like all of these things that I'm doing is to benefit my legacy, is to benefit my son, is to benefit my future husband. Like you have to see life much more bigger than you. Because again, God has given us all a call over our lives, all these skills, all these abilities, all these uniqueness. And it's not just for us. It's a gift from God that we must share to the world. So the time that you're wasting is not just for you. It's for those who are depending on you. That nonprofit that you're supposed to start, it's not for you. It's for people in your community that need it. You going to law school to pursue that degree is not for you. It's for thousands of people who need you to advocate for them. You going to medical school, you're like, man, like I don't think I can do it, but in your heart you're like, that's what I'm called to do. Do it. There are thousands, millions of people that are depending on you for their health. Starting that business. I know starting a business can be so like, man, like you don't even know where to start. And it's a risk. I think starting a business is the most scariest thing ever because all you have is just faith. You're running your business based off of faith. You may not even have the clientele. You may be starting from the ground up. Starting from the ground up is even more scary because you're like, I don't know where these clients gonna come from, but something within you, which is God telling you, like, do it. Because when you do it, that's when the people that need you are gonna come. So you have to just do it because people are depending on you. And I am preaching to the choir because I know for myself, like, if I didn't do this, like, and I'm just going to share just a snippet of just my story before I go. But for years, I have been like just avoiding this. I've been picking a career where I'm comfortable, you know, I'm making a decent amount of money. I don't have to worry, blah, blah, blah. But every single time I just feel like this nudge is saying, Naya, you need to go further. You need to actually go full time with this YouTube. You need to do all of the things that your heart is so passionate about. And don't worry. And my biggest thing was failing. I don't like failing. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And when I don't get things right, I kind of get defeated. But then I realized, like, how else am I supposed to learn? Like, you have to learn somehow. And for me, failure is the biggest learning experience for me because when I fail, I learn more. And that may be for you. You're like, I don't know where to start. I'm terrified that I'm going to fail. If you fail, at least you know it worked, or if it didn't. So go into 2025 with a mindset of growth, a mindset of determination, a mindset of no longer wasting time, a mindset of I'm no longer being selfish, but I am doing this because I know that people need me. And then you'll start seeing results. So